Hello everyone and welcome back to Beef Reacts. Today we're doing a three-part thing at once. We had lovely Discord member recommended me a music series thing called Money Game. Money Game Part 1, Money Game Part 2, and Money Game Part 3. So, I thought, why not watch it? Why not give it a listen? Why not give it a look-see? And yeah, so that's where I'm at. Let's jump into it.
It's a strange time we're living in. Book and put fear.
Let me just quickly throw on these subtitles so I can read. I do immediately like the instrumental, and I also enjoy just the start in general. Okay, cool.
It's a strange time we're living in. Book and put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, strive, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose, but who's fooling who? A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise through the
Now, I'd have to recheck because I'm trying to focus on the lyrics because excuse me. It is a song. I just need to stretch my tongue, I swear to God. Okay. You ever have a day where your tongue just feels like stressed, so it's not talking the way you want it to talk? That's where I'm at. It's really pissing me off. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the one shot that they have here because it from a filmmaking standpoint or a music video making standpoint, very creative. I'm trying to focus on the lyrics, so I feel like it's like watching a fighting anime where it's like you want to see what's going on screen, but you also want to pay attention, so you're trying to like watch it subbed, and you're like, what the fuck are they saying? And then you gotta rewind, and you gotta look.
But we like to point the blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. Stop.
Damn. Is he gonna untie it and it's gonna be himself? Very expertly blocked, by the way. Like, it's insanely well made, insanely well blocked, and insanely great to look at.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is going to terrorize you in the streets. They say proudly through gritted teeth, that's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder that's savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, the only issue, I think what people don't understand about freedom of speech is that, no, it's not necessarily freedom to hate, but like, the concept is, and we live in a world currently where this is not necessarily the case, right? But when people talk about freedom of speech and like opposition with like hate speech and things like that, there is a line. Yes, there's a line. I know there's a line. I think what more often than not people get worried about, and you could say it's right, you could say it's wrong, I don't know. All right, I really don't know. But there's obviously a difference between a slur and ideas, right? That's an important distinction to make. Where the line kind of gets blurry, though, is when the people in power, because there's always going to be people in power, there's always going to be people that are more powerful than you, right? The line becomes much muddier with freedom of speech when you're saying something that somebody in power does not like, and because you're saying something that somebody in power does not like, they then go around and, how it says, and use and manipulate language to make it seem like your ideas are bigoted, and therefore change what hatred is to fit your narrative that now you are the one being hateful. And before you ask what the fuck does that mean, it would be like, if for whatever reason the people in power hated French people, and the French said, hey, I think the people in power are wrong, I think they're this, and then so in turn those in power are just saying that, would then turn around and be like, well, the French are actually a bunch of racist bigots who hate whoever the people in power are. And so like it's almost like weaponizing empathy and weaponizing the way that people care about others and don't want to generally be hateful. And it's kind of why you want a certain level of like freedom of speech to cover things that you absolutely abhor, because if you don't, it can easily become something much, much worse. Right?
Is there immigrants or descended from immigrants? Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. And also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions are our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, rain, rain,
King.
rain. A
Correct.
storm, it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
What I find insane about this, again, is that it's a one-shot, not a one-shot, one take, but it's a one-shot. Like, it's just one continuous shot so far, and it looks absolutely stellar. Like, it looks gorgeous. The blocking, the cinematography, the amount of work that was done to just make this look fucking good. Like, god damn! The story it's telling of... I need to finish this. So he took his glove off to choke him? Or to kill him?
This old money game.
Oh. Oh my goodness. So he's taking off the money game. So he's participating in the money game while simultaneously not wanting to be a part of it or loathing it. It's almost like an existential like cry for help in a way, where it's saying that this world is like so broken and there's nothing we can do about it. Instead of trying to fight it or go about it, like you're letting yourself be resigned to it, which is not, it's not a bad take. It's just a realistic one. Yeah, life is a money game, but it's not necessarily a money game. It's a resource game, and you can hate the game, you could love the game, or you could play the game. Like, it's just like, regardless of if you hate it or love it, you're gonna be playing it. And if you try not to play it, you're still playing it. Like, it'd be like saying that it's a food game. Whoever has more food wins. It's like, yeah, I need food to survive. Well, money has become synonymous with food, feeding, etc. So, like, it's an interesting take for a game that I don't think you can necessarily play. Or a game you can't necessarily ever run away from. That's the word I'm looking for. Nice lav. He's gonna let himself on fire as a form of protest. It looks like it. Yeah. Very artistic. Like, it was a very artistic opening. Genuinely. Big fan. Like, knowing that there's 2 other parts that will be coming up with it, I'm excited or interested in knowing what they could possibly be. Now, there's part 3. There's part 2 live. There's Roman Polanski. I need to find part 2. It's the official lyric video, or is it the live? Well, I'm going to go with the lyric video because it looks like it has more views. No offense. It just, I'm going to guess that that's the one that people watched. I do love the guitar riff. Like, even if it is, like, it's melodic, it brings you in. It's almost haunting in a way. Now, normally I'm not a massive fan of Despair. Like, I think Despair has a time and a place, but there's something about it that, like, you shouldn't dwell in. Or even so, like, it's one of those things, too, where the songs are deep, like, I don't know if the rest of them are, but the first one's deeply political. It talks about a lot of issues like parliament, life, presidents, things. And, like, it's always interesting, or I shouldn't say interesting, it's always weird to hear, like, not non-political people, but, like, we put such, like, a big pressing on politics or, like, this national cause, and I think it's because people want to be a part of something and fight for something, and, like, I don't try to be super political on YouTube or whatever, because I don't think that really matters. Like, it matters in the sense of, sure, like, the way that the government works, like, re-identify, like, you know, goes into your life and yada, 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 yada. But, like, high key, the president, the Senate, the legislative branch, they don't impact my day-to-day, so I don't, you know? Like, it's an ignorant opinion, but it's like, I care more about my local, like, legislator than I do my state or even, like, country, because local legislation is much more important than federal, because federal legislation takes, like, years, and as opposed to, like, months or weeks with, like, local, so, like, being locally involved is so much more important than being nationally involved, and the reason why I believe that is because that's the entire way that our, like, at least the United States, like, our political system is set up to be a very localized thing, because they had the forethought of, damn, it's really hard for a centralized government to control the aspects of everyday lives. So, like, the American experiment, which is why it's called an experiment, is to see whether or not, if left alone, humans are capable of self-governance. And right now the jury's still out, but I'm leaning towards no. Oh, shit!
I'm living in panic and hysteria. Poor man learn, the rich man don't care for your narcissist mindset spread like malaria. Sit back and watch the show. America written split through fickle shit. A government of hypocrites. These counterfeit politicians sit in parliament, not adequate. Come on. Needlessly bleeding resources all dry. Turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing, don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent, there's no need to be unpleasant. Write my thesis in a rhyme scheme to analyze the brain while my fingers on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain.
I'm with it.
Storm, it comes that way. And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins, but we die upon the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame.
It's interesting because they're using a lot of juxtapositions, like, so they use Donnie T with Vlad, and they put him next to Hitler, as into somebody from Parliament who I don't know, and I'm sorry, but, like, they put them juxtaposed with Hitler to make the comparison, which is interesting. Like, it's cool that without even needing to actually tell, like, the story or make inference, just using those clips alone in juxtaposition creates a meaning within your mind and my own. Like, that's just cool.
Good point, the mirror right ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
I'm all about the bangers and seeing the violence in the street.
This old money game. This old money is a game, and the ladder we climb turns a saint into a sinner with his finger in crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is business economics in a nursery rhyme.
Go for it.
She sells seashells on a seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step one, must create a sense of scarcity. Shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me, take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island. Stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step two, gotta make the people think that they want them, really fucking want them. Hit them like Bronson. Influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a shell, then you're just a fucking waste, man. Free, it's monopoly. Invest inside some property. Start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Shells must sell, that will be a new philosophy. Swallow all your morals, they're a poor man's quality. 4, expand, expand, expand. Clear forest, make land, fresh blood on hands. 5.
For shells? If shells are only found on the beach, then no. Also, you explained it, but you didn't. You missed the whole point of like, how is this? When people talk about business, you know, there's a difference between Amazon and, like, your local business. You know, there's a difference between the Weinstein Company and a local production house. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, like, just to like, disagree. I'm saying it because, like, at the end of the day, just speaking on a factual level, it takes an incredibly empathetic mind to be a part of a business. It does. It really does. I can't speak for fucking Jeff Bezos or Microsoft or anything, but, like, the entire concept of living in a market economy is the fact that you provide a service or you provide a product that other people want voluntarily. Now, you can do marketing, you could do psychological tricks to make that more appealing, and we could talk about the ethics and the standards and the bullshit behind that. And by bullshit, I don't mean that it's bad. I just mean as in, like, dynamic marketing allows for people to show you hundreds of ads months before, like, for months without you ever noticing it, and then putting it in front of your face the second you think about it because they were able to fucking do studies on that and make that a thing. That we could talk about. We could talk about the ethics stuff, but ultimately speaking, like, you wanting to sell shells and creating a way for you to make a life selling shells because you have your own land that you bought and you were able to property and monopolize. Not monopolize, but, like, yeah, monopolize on the fact that you have a, like, intellectual property that you can use. It's a different conversation.
Why just shells? Why limit yourself? She sells seashells, sell oil as well. 6 on, sell stock, sell diamonds, sell rocks, sell
Sure.
water to a fish, sell the time to a clock. 7, press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes. Then run to be the president of the United States. 8, big smile, make big wave, that's great. Now the truth is overrated, tell lies out the gate. 9, polarize the people, controversy is the game. It don't matter if they hate you, if they all say your name. 10, the world.
I just want to note, you hate a lot on America, and you're not from America. Like, it sounds more like, and by the way, this isn't me criticizing the song. I actually very much enjoy, like, the messaging here. I just want to point out that, like, it's something to notice. Like, it's a lot of, like, you're pointing at the superpower and saying, I don't like you. Totally fair. You shouldn't. Then stop taking things from us.
World is yours. Step out on the stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, cheat, a devil, a whore, and you sell seashells on the seashore. Rain, 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 rain. A storm
Sure.
comes our way. And those who rise to distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we died upon the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame. Good point, the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game. This old.
Time for the last one. But I will say, just from a general standpoint, oh my god, dude, what the fuck? It's like my throat is so dry and my nose is so stuffy. Oh my goodness, I feel like with my sinuses, I can't breathe right now. I do want to point out that, like, it's always interesting to see how much Europe will readily accept aid from the United States and then turn around and criticize every little thing about it. And I say this as a proud American. Like, genuinely, I love my country. Genuinely, I love the place I come from. And, like, I'll be the first one to admit it has problems, specifically in the political sphere. I think taking money out of politics would be a great idea. I think the fact that corporations can pay and have the same voice as people is pretty disgusting, because I don't think they do. I don't think that, like, to me, at least the way I always thought about it is, I think you can have an economy, I think you can have a company, and I think that the government's job is to play referee and create laws to better help people and do things that are important. And when participants in the game of the economy, like, let's just say Amazon, Google, Facebook, any fucking throw a dart at a dartboard, pick them. can lobby for billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars to have the rules changed to benefit them and close the door for other smaller businesses, I think that's a problem. Like, I don't think that should be allowed. I don't think lobbying should exist. Like, well, then how are lawmakers supposed to make laws then? Like, listen to constituents and the people that voted for you, and not Amazon, who gave you $10 billion? Like, the biggest problem with the U.S. is that I can enter as a politician in the Congress at a $145,000 salary, and within 2 years can leave a multi-millionaire. Like, that's not okay. That's really not okay. Tickling the ivories. Hey, yo. Beautiful, beautiful handwork. I don't know who's been doing the cinematography for these, but they're fucking phenomenal. Holy shit. A Samuel and REN video. God damn! The filmmaking is phenomenal. Is he gonna kill himself? Probably. Oh, we can see that he's easily replaceable. The fact that he played that piano is insane because fuck. Well, maybe they got someone else to play it, but god damn, that was good. Let's see if we can get the titles up. Awesome.
You a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18,
that's awesome.
And his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 20.
No offense, but I feel like you're the type of person who believes that truth is subjective anyway. So, like, if you're upset that truth is a means to an end because somebody's using it to get wealthy, yet simultaneously holding the belief that truth is subjective and like a moral relativistic standpoint. And I'm sorry, maybe the person doesn't, maybe the artist doesn't believe that. I don't know, but based on the things that you're singing about and just based on your general sentiment, I think you'd probably fall into the camp that truth is subjective. So when people are using that to enrich themselves, you're getting upset, and yet you're using it currently to enrich yourself as a musician. It almost comes off from like a stance of hypocrisy. By the way, it's still a good fucking song. Like, please understand that when I talk about things like this, I am not being critical. In the set, like, I only criticize things I like. And considering the fact that this music is making me think, which is clearly what the point of, I believe the artist's name is REN, is trying to do. Yeah, REN. Is trying to do, which is get you think, getting you to think. Doing a good job. I may just not be thinking the way that this person wants me to think, I guess. But like, at 17, creating your own software, selling it, becoming a multi-millionaire, yeah, that's a great life. Why wouldn't you want that? And it's like, oh, truth is just an obstacle to get more wealth. Take as much as you can. Like, my problem with a lot of certain classist ideas or certain ideas about wealth that people seem to misunderstand is the pie infinite or is the pie finite? Is there only $300 trillion in the world? Or is the number of dollars infinite because money is not real and therefore the value is subjective and we don't have to worry about deflating or overinflating it because money quite literally is an infinite pie? Now, personally, I think that money is an infinite pie, as in, if I were to find a way to use copper that's never been used before and sell that, I did not steal money from somebody else. I have created a voluntary transaction between two individuals. Like, you don't need to step on other people to make money. You don't need to step on other people to become a multi-fucking millionaire. You don't. Some people do, but generally speaking, you don't. You don't need to exploit workers because you create voluntary transactions between you and your worker, and then you pay them a wage. Like, that's just business 101. How do I know that? Because not only do I own and operate a business, I've employed people. I've worked with people. I do shit on a regular basis.
22, he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a
Sure.
life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name.
That's awesome.
25, and his daddy tells him, listen here, son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
You know, he could have easily have gone down a different path, right? He could have become a philanthropist and not have done any of those things. Like, money is not the root of all evil. Money is a tool. Money is a tool that is used by other people to create other things. Like, if you want... I disagree with the dude's sentiment. I still like the song. I can't stress it enough because I feel like if I don't immediately praise something, people then take it as you hate it, and I don't hate it. I think it's very well made. I think the lyrics itself speak volumes. I disagree with the worldview because it's not my worldview. My worldview is very different. I think that money is a multiplier. It's an amplifier of what you are. If you are somebody with a good heart, if you are given millions of dollars, then you will probably do good things with the money. If you are somebody who is completely selfish and narcissistic, which, to be fair, to be an actor, to be in an artistic role, you need to be selfish and narcissistic. So if this person got a lot of money, yeah, they'd probably do selfish things. Not because they're a bad person. It's because like myself, to be able to sit here, speak in front of you, and talk to you for 35 minutes with my face superimposed on a screen means one of two things. Either I really fucking like to hear myself talk, which I do, or there's a voluntary exchange and I just want to get my voice out there. Regardless, either situation is me thinking that my voice is so important and needs to be heard, which in it of itself is a level of narcissism. So like, yes, if you were to give me a lot of money, I'd probably become a little bit more narcissistic. That's why I always try to like hold myself accountable by like letting everyone be a gesture, in a sense of, you want to make fun of me, because that's the only way to keep me humble. Like, I'm with it. Take shots at the ego. I talk a lot. I say a lot of obnoxious shit. I say a lot of stupid, uneducated things because I still learn every single day. But like, I don't agree with your sentiment because for all I know, this kid's father, he could hate his dad. He could love his dad. He could think that what's his mom saying to him? Is his mom saying, hey, why don't you give to charity? Why don't you help people with all the money you made? And then he's like, fuck you, mom. I'm not going to do that. I made this money. I earned this money. Or he's going to say, yeah, you're right. I should try to help other people because it's not about helping just myself. I should be offering a ladder to other people. Like, both those people can exist.
He gets a call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a money game. That's the change of shot. That's cool. They completely changed the scenery by going into that. It's an old trick from Vertigo. Not Vertigo. It's an Alfred Hitchcock movie. I forget what it's called. I do want to take a moment here to say that, genuinely speaking, I think Ren is completely talented. I think he has a complete understanding of vocalization and using his voice to speak volumes and speak truth to power, and I think he's doing a very good job at it. Regardless of if I agree or not, really doesn't matter, because he's still doing phenomenal. The artistry of the creation here too is even more. The artistry is even more fascinating because just the cinematography, the fact that it's so fluid and going around, really gives you this sense of being inside this artist's head who is just seeing the fucking bullshit that is the world and connecting these dots and seeing how horrible everything is. And it flows, it ebbs, it goes in, it goes out. We're seeing exactly and feeling this sense of uneasiness. Like, it's it's a beautifully masterfully shot video. Even the lyric video did a great job of creating meaning, but the first two put you in the mindset with just the way they're shot. Like, they're so fucking good.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him. And it's a version of she. And it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music.
So I want to ask, is Ren in the United States? Does he know how our system... Like, you're saying a lot of things, but you're not saying how our system actually works, like, at all. And I don't blame you, because I don't think you know. Like, that's just... Like, in the land of the free, like, yeah, you can put your hand in the cookie jar, and you can take more than you need, but, like, are you then by extension saying that hypothetically, if a young 20-year-old kid starts a business of being a plumber, he wakes up at 5 a.m., works his ass off for 14 hours a day, to the point where he works overtime, he pays himself, and he gets his business to the point of profiting millions of dollars every single year because he quite literally worked every fucking day for months. And before you said that's not how it works, no, it is. That I can tell you the exact example because that my brother did that. I don't think everyone takes more than they need in the cookie jar. I think people take what they got because of voluntary transactions. And you can hate that some people are doing voluntary transactions, and you can hate that some people aren't using money the way that you think they should. Like, it's totally fair. Like, you're allowed to do that. I just don't think you necessarily know how it works in a lot of ways.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains.
Disagree.
If we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
Or does it end with him shooting himself? Because you've created so much despair.
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate, with a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Respect. I've done a lot of talking today, and I know that. And like, I don't agree with this person's sentiment. However, I think it's an important sentiment. I do think he's not wrong about the things he's saying, because people do those things. Like, people do put money and wealth over others, and those people do get in power because they want more and more and more. And those that don't want more and more and more and are fine with having what they need necessarily don't end up in those positions of power. But there's so many more people that aren't like that than that are. And like, it feels like a very, not despair heavy, but like, you told such a beautiful story of a child who had the world in front of him and was told that you need to take and take and take, and then he went down a bad path. But like, you didn't need to. You could have sold arms to rebels fighting against totalitarian governments. You know what I mean? You could have done that. Like, the profiteering off of despair is such a horrible, horrible thing, and yet it is so lucrative, and that is disgusting, and it's something that you don't wish to like happen. And the problem is with human nature is that even if you teach everybody to use their brains and put others before them, you're still going to have selfish people, because I think being selfish is part of human nature. I think self-interest is such a deeply ingrained part of human nature that if there's nothing that you're going to get out of it, why even fucking do it? But like, I don't know. I guess the question of the day, guys, is I don't know. What did this song make you think of? To me, it made me think a lot about not just how people use, but like how easy and finite actual money and everything can be put together. But that's just me. Thanks so much for watching. If you don't mind, just like, comment, share, subscribe. Much longer video than I thought, but bye-bye.